The Northern Virginia housing market has been a roller coaster with sky-high demand, rising prices, and interest rates keeping everyone on their toes. But what does 2025 have in store? Will prices finally level off? Will interest rates finally start going down? Or are we going to see a market shakeup? In this video, I'm going to be breaking down my bold predictions for the Northern Virginia housing market in 2025. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or you're just curious, this is a video you don't want to miss. The Northern Virginia housing market has been one of the most challenging markets I've ever seen. In 2024, new listings remained at historically low levels. Interest rates hovered around 7%. And home affordability continued to be a struggle. Yet, with these challenging market dynamics, homes still sold in often a number of days, had multiple offers, and sold for well above listing price. In this video, I'm diving into my Northern Virginia housing market predictions for 2025. We're gonna break it down together, so let's get started. So how do I come up with these predictions? Well, unfortunately, I don't have a crystal ball, but I've done hours and hours of research for this video. From analyzing the MLS listing information going all the way back to 2018, reading a lot of articles, listening to a lot of podcasts, and leveraging my feet on the street experience, I've crafted these predictions for 2025. Some of these predictions I may get right, and some of them I may be way off the mark. But keep in mind, this analysis is all about Northern Virginia, where real estate is hyper-local and unique, so it may be different than what you're hearing in the national news headlines. With that said, let's jump into my first prediction for 2025. Prediction number one, we will see an increase in inventory levels around 6 to 8% this year. One of the biggest challenges, as we all know, in the past few years has been this low level of inventory, meaning there aren't enough houses available for the buyer demand that exists. So what that means is buyers are competing for fewer homes, often facing multiple offer situations that leads to frustration and disappointment. While inventory did rise slightly in 2024, up about 6.3% from 2023, it's still 28% lower than the 5-year average from 2018 to 2022. In 2025, I predict that we're going to see a 6 to 8% increase in new listings as sellers who've been hesitant to list with the higher interest rates are finally adjusting to the new normal. Major life events like upsizing, downsizing, relocations, and new jobs will push more sellers into the market. Even with this bump, inventory will still remain below historical averages, keeping us in a seller's market for another year. Prediction number two, mortgage rates will decline, but only slightly. As I'm making this video right now, we're still back in the 7% range from an interest rate perspective, and all the economists are reforecasting what they think the interest rates are going to do this year. But I believe that the interest rates will be fluctuating a lot this year, and the range I'm giving that is 6.4% to 6.8%. So for those of you waiting for those interest rates to hit 5%, you may be waiting a while. And as we know, in 2024, the Federal Reserve paused its rate hikes and even made a few cuts last year. While I do expect more rate cuts in 2025, they'll likely be modest and not hugely impactful on the overall interest rates for mortgages. External factors like inflation, economic policies, and global events can definitely influence these rates. But for now, expect incremental improvements. Prediction number three is all about home prices, and I still predict that they are going to increase. And the range I'm giving that is 5 to 9%. As we all know, Northern Virginia is one of the most affluent areas in the country, and that in and of itself will continue to drive demand for housing. That is why I do predict housing prices to increase somewhere within the range of 5 to 9%. As I hinted at earlier, the main driver for this is supply and demand. Even though we're predicting a bump in new listing inventory this year, it's still not enough to cover all the buyers who want to buy. This means that we will continue to see homes selling quickly and for above asking price if the home is priced for the market. For you sellers out there, this is where your pricing strategy becomes so important. And while you may be able to command a price premium, it won't be the same as it's been the last couple years. So be smart about how you price your home so that you can command the highest price possible instead of overpricing and chasing that market down. Prediction number 4 is that rent prices will start to stabilize. In 2024, rent prices soared primarily because the options for buyers were so limited they had to go back to renting, which drove demand for rentals up. The average rent for a 3-bedroom home increased by over $300 a month. In 2025, I do expect rent prices to rise, but at a much slower pace, closer to the typical $50 to $100 per month increase. As mortgage rates hopefully stabilize and more buyers go back into the market, the result will be rental demand will ease slightly, bringing a lot more relief to renters. Prediction number 5, which is my last prediction, is that home sales will increase by 7%. The number of home sales in 2023 and 2024 were historic lows, not seen since the late 1990s. In 2025, my 7% growth prediction is a result of more buyers and sellers entering the market. We're going to see more of the buyers and sellers enter the market because of life events and pent-up demand. But even with that 7% increase in sales, will remain well below historical averages. Overall, I expect 2025 to look a lot like 2024. We're still going to have a competitive market. We're still going to have higher interest rates. We're still going to have limited inventory, and we're going to continue to see rising home prices. Although all of those elements will be at a slower pace than they were in 2024. It will continue to be a seller's market, but small improvements in the mortgage rates and inventory levels should provide some relief to buyers. As always, if there's any major shifts in the market, I'll update you with a new video to keep you informed every step of the way. If you're thinking about buying or selling in Northern Virginia, or you have questions about the housing market, don't hesitate to reach out. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with somebody else who would also find it helpful. I will be reviewing my predictions at the end of 2025 so we can see where I got it right and where I got it wrong. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you can stay on top of the market as well as all the great things that you can do in the Northern Virginia area. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.